All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are so thrilled that you are here tonight. It's a very special evening. Our fabulous fourth grade class, led by our very own Miss Susie, Miss Gail, Miss Tracy, Mr. Steve, and our Madrich Sam, are going to be leading us in worship on this Shabbat. And so we are so happy you're here to join us, because what you're going to find out is that even during a pandemic, when situations and conditions are less than ideal, Jewish learning still continues. And so this Shabbat is a wonderful way for our community to come together, to be together as one community, streaming live on YouTube and on Zoom all over the country and the world. And we get to watch the future leaders of the Jewish people do what they do best. And so I'm going to ask at this time, if we were in our sanctuary during normal times, we always have our fourth graders give their sermon first. This gets things out of the way and allows us to just enjoy the fourth graders leading the service. But we're going to let the fourth graders go first, get all those jitters out, and then we're going to continue with our service. So without further ado, I'm going to ask each student, when I call your name, to please unmute yourselves and say the part that you rehearsed with Miss Susie. So we are going to start with Aylin A. Would you go ahead and begin?
So, my favorite prayer is about the hope. I like it because I like the sound of the chants and the melody.
Terrific. Thanks, Aylin. And now we're going to have Matthew.
My favorite prayer is their vote with my hope. This is a good tune and I sing it every day.
Terrific, Matthew. Thank you. And now it's Esther's turn.
Shalom. My favorite prayer is Avot V'Imahot. I like it because it mentions both fathers and mothers.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And now it's Michael's turn.
Shalom. My name is Michael. My favorite prayer is really a blessing, the Homotzi. It reminds me of food.
I like that one too. Thank you so much. Okay, Michael, well done. Anya, it is your turn.
My favorite prayer is the Shema because it reminds me of being in junior choir and being in person.
That is terrific. Wonderful. Thank you so much. How about Lila?
Shalom, my name is Lila. My favorite prayer is the Shalom Rav. I just think it has a nice melody.
I like Shalom Rav too, Lila. Well done. Alistair, it's your turn.
My favorite prayer is the Shema because it reminds me of my ancestors and it keeps me relaxed.
I like that one. Oh, and I love your bow tie. Thank you. Great. All right, Scott, with an equally cool tie. It's your turn.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Scott. My favorite prayer is the Shema because it was the first prayer that I learned.
That's great. I love that one too. And it was the first one I learned too. I think most of us learned the Shema first. I love that. It's actually the one we're supposed to learn first. So yay. Well done. How about you, Colin? Back from California. Welcome home.
Shalom, my name is Colin. My favorite prayer is the Ve'ahavta 8. I like this prayer because it reminds me of my grandfather and the times we spent together in the time we spent together when he helps me learn my prayers.
What a wonderful memory, Colin. Thank you. And for our fabulous fourth graders, well done. So we continue. By the way, did I leave anybody out? Is there anybody who I didn't call on that was supposed to be called? I don't think so. I just want to make sure. All right, excellent. Good. All right, well, we continue with our service with the singing of Bowie Kala. We are welcoming the Sabbath bride into our midst. And so we sing together Bowie Kala.
Bowie Kala, Bowie Kala, Bowie Kala, Bowie Kala. Bowie Kala, Bowie Kala, Bowie Kala, Bowie Kala. Lecha dodi, likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat
Now, Susie, Miss Susie, I know earlier you lit and blessed the Shabbat candles, but now that we are within the service, I'm going to ask you to do it one more time, if you don't mind. And we continue with Miss Susie with the honor of sanctifying our Shabbat candles.
Scott. Scott. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. We continue with the singing of Baruch Hu, and I ask everyone, if you are able to do so at this time, to please rise, and we will remain standing for Baruch Hu and Shema.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue with V'ahavta, which is the prayer that speaks about loving God and all the various ways which we express that love. We continue. Miss Cindy?
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol vavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot peinenecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Thank you, Cindy. And now we continue with Everlasting Love, which is a reading that we do. And it is my pleasure to invite to our ceremonial bima our wonderful and beloved temple educator, Marla Friedman.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah in mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night will we reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen. And notice even your dog wanted to weigh in on that prayer. Did you catch that? Isn't that great? I just love Zoom for the, I'm just saying, you know, it's a Jewish dog. All right. We continue with Michamocha as we ceremonially cross the Red Sea with Moses, Miriam, and all Israel. on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai, that wherever we are is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. We continue with Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And now we come to our congregational tefillah. But before we do that, I wanted to just mention that the tefillah, also known as Amidah or Shemona Esrei, is the first prayer that we're going to be doing is the Avot. And it's called Avot because the opening phrase refers to God as Elohei Avotenu, the God of our ancestors. And ancestors mentioned here are the patriarchs and matriarchs of Jewish tradition. So I wanted to take a moment to welcome the patriarchs and matriarchs of the fourth graders, the extended families, the parents, the grandparents, aunts and uncles who are here with us from all over, that we have 40 people in our Zoom room and however many people in our YouTube streaming, but it makes possible the ability for grandparents and parents to join us when we otherwise wouldn't have. Now notice that the fourth graders, we're going to show a little video of them doing the Avot, the Imahot, and they are going to be starting with a long introduction mentioning Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And the scholars ask, why did we have such a long formula to have to say all of these names? And the reason is this formula was that the Torah designated the phrase God of our ancestors over and over again throughout Torah, so that we find out that God reveals God's self in every generation in different ways. And so we join our fabulous fourth graders in the most cutest video. Wait till you see this. And we celebrate them doing Avot v'Imahot. So hold on, let me see if I can share my screen and let's see how we do. You ready? Here we go.
Rabbi, there's no sound.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 minute to work out the technical difficulties. And we're just going to take 1 second to do exactly what has to be done. Can everybody hear me? Everybody's listening? Yeah, good. Okay, let's try this again, shall we? We're going to go back to the beginning and see if this doesn't work. It's fabulous. Here we go.
Safa Haftifta Ufia Gita Tilateha Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Velohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Ve'Elohei Leah
Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Komnei Ha'akol V'Shocher Hashtei Avot v'Imahot
Unevi Gubal Bnei Bneihem Leman Shelo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagain Baruch Atah Adonai
Magen Avraham, Mezrat Sarah, Hagibor Le'olam Adonai, Mehaye Metim Atarav Lehoshia, Mashiv Haruach Umarid HaGashem.
Mechayel Hayim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachmim Rabim Zomech Noflim Ole Holim Umetir Asurim Mechaye Nimunato Nishene Afar Mihalo Habael Givurot Umido Melach Melch Mimi Chaye Umatmiach Yeshua Nemana Talachayo Metim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaMetim.
Yasher Koach. Was that not just amazing? I'm telling you, our fourth graders, that's like, you know, they always say in showbiz, you should never follow animals and kids. I think we should just end the service right now. Oh, just kidding. We're not in showbiz. That's right. It's the middle of a prayer service. Okay. Well, that's good, because now we can continue with the singing of Oseh Shalom, a song for peace.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
The reading of the Torah. And I ask everybody, if you are able to do so at this time, to please rise as we sing Al Shlosha Devarim, and I ceremonially take the Torah out of the ark.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, olam olam omeid, al shlosha devarim. Devarim, al shlosha devarim, olam olam omeid. Al Torah ve'al avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al Torah ve'al avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
Please be seated. So our Torah portion this week, Mishpatim, talks about laws. And it's kind of a funny portion because we were just last week in a narrative about giving of the 10 Commandments and receiving Torah. And all of a sudden, we have this Torah portion all about laws. So some of the laws they talk about are relating to slaves and servants and the servants' freedom. Or penalties for causing another person harm. So if your dog bites another kid, you have to pay for their visit to the clinic and all the band-aids that they use. And you also can't damage somebody's property. You have to make sure that you let people borrow money, and you have to be good to the people who are poor and give them interest-free loans. In fact, it is said that if you give a person a fish, they'll eat for a day, but if you teach them how to fish, they will eat for a lifetime. And so not only are we also to be kind to the poor, but it is important that we are honest to people who need justice. So we're not allowed to take bribes if we are a lawyer or a judge. All right, and so to continue with the bracha over Torah, it is my pleasure to invite our very own Steve Friedman. Ya'amod Yehoshua ben Ephraim v'Shoshana la'aliyah ha'Torah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'ele hamishpatim asher tasim lifnechem ki tikne eved ivri sheshanim ya'avod uvashvi'it yetze lechofshi chinam im begapo yavo begapo yetze im ba'al isha hu vayatza ishto imo im adonav yiten lo isha v'yaldalo vanim o vanot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chai olam natai b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Can you guys still hear me? So my screen, good. My screen actually stopped. So I'm going to stop sharing. Steve, you jumped in. My screen froze, but I'm going to take you to the end of the Torah portion. Just humor me because I studied it this week, so I really want to get there. Vanim o vanot, ha'isha v'yaldeha tihiyeh la'adoneha v'hu yetzei begapo. All right, now, what we know is we always want to do extra Torah. You want to make sure you have 3 lines of Torah to have a kosher aliyah. I actually got 3.5 before you did the blessing, and I took the next half, so now we have 4. I'm thrilled because we had extra Torah. So kol hakavod, Steve, well done. All right, we continue with Misha Berach. And this is our prayer for those of our families and of our community who are ill and in need of healing. So we think this evening of Gillavant, Elwood, Frederick, Brian. One second, sorry about that. Rick Westerman, Karen Levinson, Laura Alberton, Mark Zellman, Sarah Warch, Richard Hoffman, Evan Georgie Johnson, Kathleen Minardi, Margie Sufi, Sheila Alterman, Sharon Gutsky, Ronnie Brown, Carol and Larry Nymark, Daniel Bongino, Kathleen Archambault, Rabbi Ellen Dreyfus, Jay Field, Stefano Michelasi, Denise Blackburn, Jan Bernstein, Larry Levine, Sophie Pollack, Len Schultzman, Steve Tatiner, Rob Dicker, Scott Penskard, Beverly Klein, Rod Johnson, Harvey Waller, and Nathan Dayan, as well as all who suffer, whom we know not by name. Rabbi Dara Lerner. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, V'Yaakov, Ve'imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, V'Leah, Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh et Kol Cholei Yisrael, V'Yishlach Lahem, Bimheira, Refuah Shlema, Refuah Ta Nefesh, Refuah Ta Guf, V'nomar amen. And we had one more name. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. May the God who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all who are stricken. May the Holy One of Praise mercifully restore them to health and to vigor. May God grant them health of body, health of spirit, and of mind. And let us say, Amen.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habarakam lamotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And so, once again, I'm going to ask everybody to please rise as we say V'zot HaTorah, and we immediately put our Torah back in the ark, and we'll continue with our prayers for America and Israel after. But I ask everyone to rise for the lifting and putting away of the Torah.
V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai biyad Moshe. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
Please be seated. And now it is my pleasure to invite to the Torah our most excellent madrich of the 4th grade, Sam Birnbaum, to lead us in the prayer for America.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing with those who are in need. Help us to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways we serve you. Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sam. And now we have most excellent teacher, Miss Gail, leading us in the prayer for Israel. Gail, I need you to unmute, sweetie.
All right. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. And now it is my pleasure to invite our most excellent board member, Jacob Cinnamon Murphy, to offer some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. And thank you, everyone, for coming to services. I'm Jacob Cinnamon Murphy, and I'm representing the Board of Directors tonight. Thank you to the rabbis and the fourth graders for leading our service, and to Cindy Michaelasi for our beautiful music. The Sisterhood will kick off Rosh Chodesh this Sunday at 7 p.m. with a virtual discussion while addressing the upcoming dialogue regarding the month of Adar and the changing season. For further information, please contact Marcia Sweeten. If you haven't already done so, there's still time to reach out for next Thursday's RBG virtual tour that is being hosted by the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center next Thursday, February 18th at 7 p.m. Please reach out to Gail Farr of the Lifelong Learning Committee for registration and details. Quick reminders, Torah study will be tomorrow at 9 a.m., but there is no religious school this Sunday, and the office will be closed Monday in observation of President's Day. Thank you all so much for attending. Stay warm. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Jacob. And we continue with our Aleinu. So I ask everyone, if they are able to do so at this time, to please rise for the short form of Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
And before we sing Bayom Hahu, I want to just make one quick plug, because I can't believe that we're going to be having our Purim Carnival event in just 9 short days, a week from Sunday at 3 o'clock. We're going to have an in-person, very cold for us, for we rabbis and staff at Etz Chaim, but we're going to be in person outside in our carnival. So come on, bring some food to donate, and come to our Purim event, February 21st. Cannot wait. All right, Cindy, take us home with Bayom Hahu.
ונאמר וחי אדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please be seated. And I want to just make a quick mention. We don't actually say Kaddish for somebody who has not been buried, but Keaton had lost a friend of the family, Ellen Warner, who passed away, I believe, 2 days ago and is not buried yet. So we're not saying Kaddish for her, but we do want to at least acknowledge the loss and to let you know that we are so sad for your family, Alistair, Keaton, Shannon, Parker, all of you, and we will keep you in our thoughts at this sorrowful time. But at this time in our worship service, we think of those who have departed this earth and whose yortzeit, whose anniversary of their death, we remember the Shabbat. And so we recall with tremendous love and good memories in our hearts, Jenny B. Mandel, grandmother of Craig Mandel, Jim Mann, father of Barbara Spars, Solomon Steinman, grandfather of Cynthia Sawyer, Jack Trefimo, father and father-in-law of Jordan and Alice Trefimo, grandfather of Jan Widmeyer, Libby Weinstein, grandmother of Diane Kleiber, Albert Kaplan, grandfather of Andrea Alterman Lax, Nancy Rovell, aunt of Merle Ehrlich, Daniel Stern, father of Alex Stern, Ramona Stewart, mother of Ann Stewart, Janie Weisenberg, mother of Laura Piachak, Rose Goldman, grandmother of Lynn Sullivan, Leah Grace Margolis, mother of Larry Margolis and Nancy Madrill, Robert Stoddard, father of Rebecca Berman, Beverly Bobb, mother of Lorna Helgeland, James Anthony Brower, grandfather of Jennifer Brower, Lucia Glass, mother of Michael Glass, Laura Heslin, cousin of Rabbi Stephen Bobb, Rhoda Saronero, aunt of Joan Balin, Agnes Dustin, mother of Janet Gannett, Annette Schulman, mother of Barbara Carlson, Robert Stoddard, brother of Rebecca Berman, Loren Johnson, grandmother of Nancy Fain, great-grandmother of Jackie Fain, Julius Newman, grandfather of Julie Mandrew, Henry Wolf, father of Ursula Ulrich, Leah Susan Dvorkin, sister of Dan Dvorkin, Stanley Lampert, grandfather of Amanda Littauer, Catherine Longman, daughter of Doug and Linda Longman, Robert Stewart, brother of Ann Stewart, Herbert Dern, father of Susan Deisinger, Sylvia Kaplan, aunt of Marcia Kaplan, Lorenz Wolski, father of Alan Wolski, and we also mourn the recent passing of Audrey Elrod Lakin, cousin of Terry Shapiro. Our griefs and sympathies as together we recite Kaddish Atom, the mourner's Kaddish, and I ask if you are able to do so at this time to please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'yaichon v'yomechon ufchaye dechol beit Yisrael v'agalalu v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
V'yimru amen. V'yimru amen. V'yimru amen. V'yimru amen.
Please be seated. So once again, before we begin our closing song, a thank you and shout out to all of our fabulous fourth grade teachers, to our amazing community, because you continue to keep everything happening, showing up every week. We can endure through this time, and we are so grateful to be surrounded by the love and support of community. But most of all, to our wonderful fourth graders, You are not only the epitome of cuteness, but really, we know the future of the Jewish people is in great hands because you led our service so beautifully tonight. Yasher koach, kol hakavod, well done. We close our service with the singing of Adonai Oz. God will give strength to all of God's people and bless all of us with peace.
Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai varech et amo. Adonai varech et amo. Shalom, Adonai varech et amo. Shalom, shalom, Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai varech et amo. Adonai varech et amo.
Let us always pray as if everything depended upon God, but let us always act as if everything depends upon us. Yasher koach to my fabulous fourth graders. Thank you to my wonderful community. Shabbat shalom. May you all be blessed with Shabbat peace.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Great job, fourth graders.
Great job.
Thanks, Cindy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
See you,
Michael.
everybody.
Michael, you did a great job, honey.
Thanks.
Way to go. I'm so proud of you. Have a good long weekend, honey.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.